So I started out by getting the engine up on the bench here just so it would be a lot easier to work on, and this is how it looked. Right away, I went ahead and removed a few small things like this vent hose here, the guard for the chain, and then the shifter, as well as our front drive sprocket, and all of those came off without giving me any troubles. Next to go was the cover for the flywheel. All these bolts came out pretty easily, and with a little bit of wiggling, the cover did as well. Now take note, when I'm pulling these out on the clutch cover side, I put them back into their respective places on the clutch cover just to help with reinstallation, so I know where each of them go because they're different lengths. Now upon removing these bolts and the clutch pressure plate, I noticed something very interesting. As you see there, the inner hub spins but the outer clutch basket doesn't. Now why that is so important is it tells us that our issue for the engine being locked up is not in the transmission, but at some point before that. Next to go was this top plate here that holds our camshafts in place, and thankfully this came out without giving me any troubles either. So far everything was going really smoothly and I was very grateful. Now before I could remove this top plate, there was one more thing I had to do, and that was to remove the cam chain tensioner so that the cam chain would be loose enough so that we could get that top plate off. There's a couple pieces to this part, but they all came out pretty smoothly and I set them aside. With the cam chain loose, I could remove this top plate here and then go ahead and remove the camshafts, but before I could do that, I needed to remove those little clips. You want to make sure you set those aside because they can be extremely easy to lose as they're very thin and they're also pretty fragile, so you wouldn't want them getting crushed in anything. Now at this point, we finally got some movement in the engine, which was very exhilarating and I was very excited to see that. I went ahead and removed these head bolts, but these did not come out so smoothly. I literally broke a ratchet and a socket trying to get these out. And yes, I was using a torch to heat the base of where those bolts are going into the cases. But after lots of pressure and a huge breaker bar, I finally got them out. Next to go were these lifters, and I like to use a magnet to get those out. There was one small bolt on the side here that I hadn't noticed, but I went ahead and got, well, there were actually two of them, and I got them removed without any issues. With those off, I could finally remove the head, and look at that carbon buildup all around the valves. Pretty nasty, but we're going to set that aside for later. And now the engine was finally turning over. I went ahead and compressed the valves so I could remove them, making sure to get the little retainer clips out of there as well. Now if you don't have a small enough magnet to go in there, you can always use a magnetic screwdriver like I did in the previous clip. I removed this one last bolt so I could get the cylinder off and take a look at how the inside of it looked. That bolt came out without any issues, and I set it aside for later. With that off, I did go ahead and remove our cylinder, which did take a little bit of pulling and prying, but it did eventually come off. Now the inside of the cylinder really did not look bad at all, and I was extremely grateful for that. Now we do have a new piston coming, but at least we won't have to order a new cylinder as well, because believe it or not, cylinders are expensive. Speaking of the piston, let's get this crappy old one out of there. Now thankfully there wasn't any play in the connecting rod. It was time to get these cases outside, which I really should have done before I tore the engine apart, but the weather wasn't ideal, so I took them outside, set them on this dirt bike stand right here, sprayed a little magic foam on them, and this is how they turned out. So we just got our new parts from Rocky Mountain ATVMC. If you guys are looking for any dirt bike or ATV parts, make sure to head on over and check them out. I'll leave a link in the description. Now let's look at what they sent us. So starting out, we got this Tusk gasket and seal kit. I also went ahead and got this Tusk clutch remover tool. We got some valve seals from Tusk as well. We have a Pro X piston kit along with some RIK rings, So this is pretty much what we're gonna need. We're waiting on one more thing, and that's gonna be a new clutch basket because I snapped the one that's on there trying to take it off, and it was already cracked in one other spot. So we're waiting on that to come from eBay, and yeah, we should be set for the rebuild. But let's get back into the shop. Before I get into polishing the frame, I went ahead and removed the sticker here, just using a razor blade and being very careful on the soft aluminum. I want to take a quick second to give a shout out to Pryme. I've been using their wheels like these for quite some time now, along with many other products that they have. They've been nothing but amazing. The prices are very reasonable, and that's coming from a guy who buys all his tools at Harbor Freight, so you know I mean it. They have attachments for drills, Dremels, bench grinders, and so much more. I'll leave a link in the description, so make sure you head on over and check them out if that is something you could use. Thank you to Pryme for your continued support. Let's get back into it. So this kit from Pryme right here that I'm using comes with 2 different stages of wheels, one for a coarser polishing and then one for a finer finish. I decided to go ahead and do the entire frame with the coarse wheel, and then the parts that I wanted to be really shiny with the fine wheel. And then for the parts that I wanted to have that absolute chrome finish, I took my buffer along with some Mother's Magnet aluminum polish and got it shined up, and it looked beautiful. That right there is just after stage 1, but it was already looking so good. After applying some polish, like I mentioned, I went ahead and buffed it, and this is how it turned out. Absolutely amazing, just that perfect chrome finish that we are 100% going for. Now, if you guys would want to see a video more in depth on this, make sure to leave a comment. Now, so far on this project, everything has gone pretty smoothly as far as the disassembly of this engine, but as you can see right here, my valve compressor is a little bit too big for our exhaust valves because our intake valves are bigger. It did work for those. So what we're going to do to solve this is we're actually going to take a socket and we're going to cut it out so that it fits right on here, and we can still reach in there with a magnetic screwdriver and get our valve keepers out. And then we're going to put that socket in between our valve compressor and our exhaust valves so that we can get them removed, and then we're going to go ahead and lap them. So let's go ahead and do that. If you've made it this far, thank you so much for watching. I've said it before, and I will definitely be saying it again. I'm new to all this, so if you have any suggestions on editing or video length or anything like that, if you want to see more time lapses, more voiceovers, please let me know. I try to do a pretty good mix of everything, but I'm not perfect. You guys know what you want to see, so again, please make sure to comment that. Make sure to subscribe for next Saturday's video, where we're going to be rebuilding the engine, putting all those fresh parts in it, and starting to reassemble this bike. And hopefully at that point, we should have a new seat cover and graphics as well. So make sure to subscribe, stay tuned, and we'll see you next time.